I'm on the wrong screen. Hello and welcome to
what are we called again?
乔魔术播客，请观看中国第一。
乔魔术播客，请观看。
乔魔术播客，请观看中国第一。
Joe Magic Podcast, watch China #1.
Yeah, okay.
Hello. We're back in our normal setting after...
Give me BTTV emotes.
I don't like third-party apps.
It's like, I don't like third-party stuff.
It's like a third-party app that's integrated.
Like a third-party app that's integrated. I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. It never clicked for me.
Yeah, I didn't have an intro. That's the intro.
Donkey Kongu.
Welcome. Did anyone watch the anniversary podcast?
I didn't.
No, because you were there.
Yeah, I was there.
Let's mention some news. We have a behind-the-scenes video coming out from the behind-the-scenes footage that Daniel recorded on his phone. All of it got corrupted. So it's like 6 minutes long or something. Because Daniel's phone kept shutting off after like 15 seconds. But there's a little bit of behind-the-scenes footage. Like the dash cam footage was completely corrupted from the drive. We have a Tangerine of Picard coming out.
That isn't corrupted.
On Wednesday, so in a couple of days if you're watching this live. And then I think a week after that there'll be a Tangerine on Bargain Quest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't... Yeah, okay.
We
still got more Tangerines to do, but we haven't done them yet.
We haven't talked about news for like a month, so this might be very, very long. So let's just jump straight into it and I'll try and get through it. We'll start with some EA news. The Frostbite engine. We got a new trailer for Chapter 6 of Battlefield 5. We're going back into the jungle. Still American versus Japanese war. World War
So is this like Jungle Run?
Yeah.
Just like it.
Just like Jungle. I'm really looking forward to using the samurai. It does look like Vietnam. It's in one of those Pacific Theatre kind of maps, like Southeast Asia. I can't remember exactly what it was because I don't know too much about the Pacific Theatre in World War II. Somewhere near Japan.
It has some Japanese in there.
We're getting the bazooka, which is fucking awesome. Which is going to be cool to take down tanks. I'm looking forward to using the samurai sword. The Solomon Islands is what it is, sorry. I'm really looking forward to just going into the jungle bushes and being like, with the samurai sword and just cutting people down. I thought I was going to love the flamethrower, but the samurai sword is my favourite, special weapon in the new maps. Let's see if we can... Oh, there's a new carbine as well, and I love carbines, so that'll be cool for the assault class. Some purple huts, the new battle pass stuff, but it's kind of like free stuff, so it's not really that bad. There's the bazooka, and then my favorite new addition, the plunge fucker boys are coming. You get explosives on a plunger and you run at a tank. So yeah, basically when they added the new anti-aircraft prototype one, we were plane fuckers, but now they got the plunger. The tank fuckers will be back to get the plungers out and take people out.
Team tank fucker.
Yep. There's a new minigun, or LMG, I guess, as well. So yeah, that looks pretty good. Apparently, there's going to be some more changes to time. So after the Wake Island, they increased time to kill, which a lot of people were complaining about.
Right.
It took too long to kill people. They are dialing back a little bit, but they're not decreasing it to pre-Wake Island Pacific Theatre status.
So testing a little bit more health.
I kind of like lower time to kill.
What's with the dislikes on this video?
Probably people that didn't like time to kill.
Okay.
Everyone in the comments is saying revert the time to kill changes.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Anyway, Apex Legends, the new season is coming out on Wednesday as well. Season 4. So we got debated. They showed off this basically started with Revenant, right? And they were like, for the whole time, Revenant's going to be the new hero. Although it was hinted that Revenant was going to be the new hero. And they were like, no. Season 4 Forge is coming out. And I was like, oh, okay. Forge looks kind of cool. And then they dropped this trailer on us, which I recommend watching because it's great. I really like the direction they're going with the story and the animations in Apex. Surprising me because I never thought it would be like a strong story game. But then you're like, wait, it's written by the Titanfall 2 guys. You know, they've got the really strong single-player campaign. And I think it's set in the same universe.
Yeah, I don't think...
Or at least it hinted that it's...
Yeah.
There's a character from Titanfall 2 in one of the trailers.
Right, okay.
Up close and personal.
We seem to be having some technical difficulties.
Right. I can't wait to play as this Forge character. Just kidding. It's Revenant. So we actually got debated.
I think I'd rather play as the Forge.
Yeah, I got to a point where I was like, actually the Forge guy looked really cool. Like, I would have liked a new tank character because he was like a champion boxer sort of thing. So I was just imagining it like a tank guy that goes around punching people, and I was like, that sounds way more fun than some stealth assassin.
Grab people and throw them.
We got a new launch trailer. I won't show the whole thing, but basically, we see Ash, who is a character from Titanfall 2, shows up in the trailer, and she is a simulacrum, which are basically human consciousnesses put into robots in the Titanfall 2 universe, and this is what Revenant is. So he sees himself as a human, but he's actually a robot.
Right. And
it kind of fucks with them a lot and makes them go insane because they think they're human, but they've got this dissociative body where they're actually a robot sort of thing. Then they use that to make like these super weapon assassins. We got this really cool, again, P2020's Shadow Assassin coming along, kills everyone. And I was like, okay, that's all I'll talk about. But literally like a couple of hours, they did the premiere for the great gameplay trailer. They're going to actually talk about the brand new changes they're making to the game. They're revamping the World's Edge map. So basically, they're like hauling over points of interest. The Forge people are building like a super drill on the map, and it's creating like lava fissures and stuff.
Right, okay.
Which my biggest complaint about this map is there's way too much open space and not enough cover. So anyone who has a sniper, it's just like GG. But they've shown that they're adding way more structures and buildings and stuff, which I like, which is something I really liked with King's Canyon.
Mm.
So like here, this was just a massive open area, but now you've got this massive drill. There's like a red beam in it, so you always know where it is on the map. And they said it's going to help against, people constantly getting third-partied, which is a big problem. So we kind of see Revenant's abilities, and this is pure speculation because this has literally been out an hour. Breaking news. We need a breaking news thing.
Yeah.
Rumor, speculate. Don't I have a soundbite?
We did at some point. I'm not sure. We still got it? Oh, there's rumor.
Which button's that? Sorry?
Numpad 5.
Rumor, speculation. So I think his passive is that he turns into a shadow and like climbs up walls. It seems like his tactical ability, his like main ability, he throws a grenade that stuns people. And it looks like his ult, he summons a totem and you turn into shadows. And then if you die, you respawn on the totem, maybe? It's really confusing, so I'm actually going to have to see what his ult does, but this could make him a really interesting character. Yeah. But I really like what they're doing with the new map, but I'm also kind of underwhelmed that we didn't get a big announcement like the new sniper rifle's cool. I really like the look of it. I'm a big fan of like 50 cal snipers, like an AWP or something.
Mm.
And according to like the PSN page, store page, you're going to be able to like supercharge a shot with a shield battery as well. But I'm going to be playing this again because I fucking love it. I talked about it. I have over 300 hours in the game. One of my games of 2019. Oh fuck! What did I press? I think I accidentally clicked one of the end cards. I've started using end card recently, and they're pretty okay. I like end. I don't know, Dave. If Dave or Andy are watching still, do you like the end cards I put at the end of the videos or not, or do any of them get in the way?
Well, okay. How about this? Why don't we just leave a section at the end for the end cards?
No.
Because my biggest annoyance with the end cards is when it's like, oh, I now can't see anyone's faces. Thanks. You really didn't put any thought into this.
I usually set it up so it doesn't cover stuff.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, at the end we have stuff.
10 out of 10 best end items. I have... So if it's a Tangerine, it has the playlist for Tangerine. Yeah. If it's a podcast, it has the playlist for podcast. Spotlight. And then we have subscribe. And then we have our most recent video as well. So we've got an in-depth look at the changes. So this is what I was talking about in the trailer. This is a brand new blog post they just put up with a new map. So you can see this is the original map. Now we have, this big thing, this huge empty space. Now we've actually got this giant drill.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I said about the giant laser beam being in the sky, you're always going to know where it is on the map. It's going to be the center of the map. This is going to be like the center drop. Because the most popular point of interest was the capital city. And they said the problem was it was very bunched together and very hard to take the whole of capital city. So you're always getting third party and always have big fights here. So what they did was they split it into two by adding this lava here. And the only way to get across the lava, they say in this blog post, is by using a zip line or going across this crumbled building. They said initially they wanted the lava just to instantly kill you. But what they've said now is that if you fall into the lava, you go into an updraft mode.
Right.
But the downside to that is it's not like free fall where you're really fast. You're really slow, so you're like a moving pinata, they say. And you take 25 damage as well. So it's not, you don't want to purposely go in that. You might need to sometimes to get to fly over the gap. But every time you go in there, you'll take 25 damage and you'll be a slow moving flying object for a little bit. So it's kind of like risk reward if you want to go in the lava, which I found kind of interesting how they did that. It's called the updraft. They showed off the new survey camp. There was basically nothing here, and then they're adding more stuff, which I really like. And then they've talked about new weapon racks. So on the smaller points of interest, they wanted to give people reasons to go to them. So they're now going to have weapon racks. So they said similar to the firing range, where they'll have these racks that have guaranteed weapon drops on them. Because sometimes you can land somewhere, and it's attachment. But if you want to target specifically, go somewhere and pick up a gun, these weapon racks will be in these small points of interest, like the survey camp, I think, is one. Snowy Fields, Epicenter, Skyhook. Yeah. These will all have weapon racks in them, so that'll be really interesting. Here. Moving on. Oh, we got some gameplay for Magic Legends. You remember Magic the Gathering is making an ARPG MMO thing?
Yeah, I remembered. Sure.
Looks kind of interesting.
Yeah, I'm still interested in it because
I signed up to the beta. I'm gonna play it, but I honestly at this point have no idea how good it would be. It looks okay.
It looks like early it polished the animations like snappiness, I would say, but not playing it is hard to tell.
Well, I mean, the only Magic game I've played is a card game, so it'd be interesting to see it as an ARPG. MMO.
I remember in university that they tried to release a Magic board game.
Right.
And I was like, who the fuck would play a Magic board game?
Well, Wizards of the Coast make Dungeons and Dragons, right? So,
but I feel like they've had
they're pretty good with tabletops.
I feel like they've had a really hard time with Magic, like making it more than just a card game.
With Diablo, you kind of lock the camera, but you see like you kind of turn the camera. I kind of like that. It's not a fixed camera, but we'll see how that comes.
It's not like an isometric. It's
ARPG.
more just like a really far out third person.
Because it seems like games companies are maybe more going into that direction. Because Diablo 4 is going to be more of an MMO ARPG.
Yeah.
Like there's going to be way more online elements than there is in like Diablo 3 or the earlier Diablos.
Do we trust Blizzard to make?
No.
Okay.
We'll talk about Warcraft in a bit, but I don't know. I don't know what the hell Diablo 4 is going to be like. Hopefully it's good, but
at least we get good cinematics from it, I guess. So all we definitely got now.
I wanted to quickly show that off. If you want to watch more, check that out yourself. We got a new trailer for the Final Fantasy VII remake. This is the official trailer. This was delayed, as I will read off a long list later of all the games that were delayed recently, because apparently there's about 15 games that have been delayed. Are you looking forward to playing this Final Fantasy remake?
Well, it's one of the Final Fantasy games I wanted to play, so yes,
to
some extent.
You would play the remake over going back and playing the original?
Yeah, I've tried. It's too shit.
looks good, I guess.
Yeah, it looks
Square
okay.
Enix anime JRPG.
I will say, like, it looks very similar. Like, just like it, like in my head, from what I've seen, like it looks just like the modern day version if they made it today.
Skips the gameplay, so it looks like it is going to be using the more recent Final Fantasies, where you have the real-time action rather than the static turn-based one from the original Final Fantasy.
But it's not going to be similar to the Final. It's going to be more like the Final 15 one, but not entirely, as far as I can tell. It's more. It reminds me more of the 13 one.
And you can summon a bunch of chocobos, so what's not to love?
Yeah.
Do you remember there was a Torchlight game, and they were like, "Oh, it's going on hold," and then they were like a week ago, "We're making Torchlight 3, wubba lubba dub dub."
Yeah, okay. Legitimately, like before we saw anything of this, I was looking through my Steam library and oh yeah, Torchlight. That's a game series.
That's a game. It's like a popular ARPG game that I've never played.
What the hell happened? Yeah, I never played either, but I own both of them.
Yeah, I think Torchlight 1 is purely single player, or only has maybe LAN.
I think its scope
and then
is
Torchlight 2 has online multiplayer, which is
and its scope is far bigger in terms of like what it does.
And I think like Torchlight 1 was more like an indie product. I remember at the time Torchlight 1 came out, I remember it being on Xbox Live Arcade, but I could be wrong.
I think you're right, but I think didn't they like they kind of rushed to make it because they're running out of money, and it's like we need to put like a game that we want.
It's just Live Arcade,
just like a smaller version of Diablo 2 in some extent.
But that's how you would have to get your game on like Xbox. You would have to go to like Xbox Live Arcade back in the day before you could get a publisher to put it onto there and that sort of stuff.
But then once you're big on there, you're like, oh, we'll put money to put it onto PC or something.
But yeah, this does look pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to play Torchlight 1 and 2 at some point because they look like interesting games and I want to play them, but I have no idea when. Papaton 2 is getting a remaster. I've never heard of this game, but it was highly upvoted, and I was like, I've never heard of this game, but somebody probably has. I don't know, it's probably like one of those games like Loco Roco.
It looks kind of cool, though.
It's like one of those games where no one's heard of it apart from like a bunch of it probably has like one of those cult followings.
Yeah, but really positive cult followings.
It's like one of those games, like Super Monkey Ball, where probably nobody you know's played Super Monkey Ball, but you're just like, there's no other game like Super Monkey Ball. Right. So it has that thing where people love the game.
Okay.
It's
a very interesting art style.
A cult classic. Yeah.
I
put a question mark on it. Anyway, quick news.
Question mark.
Does anyone use Avast as their antivirus?
I hope not.
Avast has had to apologise for hurting the feelings of its antivirus users because it's been selling their browser data. The popular antivirus firm is shutting down JumpShots, its data collection affiliate. Avast was caught with over 435 million users with its hands in the privacy cookie jar. It's now having to apologise for selling their data. Who wrote the article?
Yeah,
Lily.
It's just full of puns.
Okay. But yeah, if you're using Avast, they're selling your data. They got caught. They're now apologising for selling your data and saying they definitely won't do it again.
Promise.
So what I would say to that is, do not trust them. Get a different antivirus or just use Windows Defender.
Yeah, pretty good.
Well, speaking of Windows 7 is shutting down its support. But several antivirus firms will continue supporting Windows 7 for at least 2 years. I hope one of them's not Avast, because we can't trust Avast anymore. Now is the perfect time to upgrade to Windows 10. Everyone's been stalling on it.
I still think they should have made it easier for people to upgrade, or
They made it super easy.
No, they did, then they stopped. They should have brought back the notification, which they have not done.
They're only going to make it easy to get free Windows 10 for so long.
Yeah, well, they made it not easy. But you can still download the same old thing, and then if you have an existing Windows 7, 8, or 8.1, it will automatically just update it for free, so...
Let's see. Avast is at least 2 years. So
yes.
There's plenty of other ones. OnLab, Avira, Bitdefender, Bulgar, Carbon Black, EST.
Yeah, isn't Bitdefender going to be a pretty good one?
But this is like last support. This is 2 to 1 years of support.
This is actually probably better for small businesses, to be honest.
It's basically every hospital's
Yeah.
probably still running on Windows. They might even be in XP still.
And according to, I think, doesn't the German government still use Windows 7?
China still uses Windows XP, I think. But if you've been waiting to upgrade to Windows 10, I would say now is the best time, probably.
Yeah.
It's the best time you're going to get. Pandemic Express is a game I wish I hadn't played. It's now going free to play. It was the thing that annoys me is it was such a good idea. It took the popular Zombie Escape mod and tried to make it into its own game, and then it was like one game mode. It was one map, one game mode, and they were charging money for it, and it wasn't good. It was buggy. It was unfinished, and I think now they've done the right thing where they've gone, we've got to make this free to play, because I was playing on a free to play weekend and I struggled to get into a game. So obviously there's huge player base issues with this. It's unpolished, it's unfinished, there's no content. Obviously it's not that fun from what I experienced, but if you're looking for a zombie escape game with one map that's free to play, check this out, I guess.
Sure.
Platinum Games have received a capital investment from Tencent, but will continue to operate independently. Oh shit! Sorry. Tencent, the reputable company. We are.
乔魔术播客，请观看中国第一。
Tencent number 1.
What does DE stand for?
I don't know. It's like a third party app. It's integrated.
Yeah. We love Tencent here. They bring all the good games to China.
But this is kind of interesting that Platinum Games, they've always been like tied to a publisher, and they've done strange decisions because of this. Hopefully this is going to allow them to be more independent, like they said it's going to be.
Yeah, Tencent don't seem to do too much. At least
isn't Platinum like a Japanese company?
Yeah, I believe so. It's either that or Korean. I never know the difference.
But if you don't know, they're the people who make like Bayonetta famously, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Vanquish,
Mutants in Manhattan,
which
I don't think you can buy anymore because of licensing issues. They made a Aang Airbender. It was the woman character in Aang the Airbender.
Korra,
Legend of Korra or something like that. Yeah. So they basically made a bunch of like is it hack and slash games?
Yeah,
is that how you describe them?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. PlayStation will not be participating in E3 2020.
No.
They seem basically a lot of like big guys at E3 have realized they could just do their own conference via the Nintendo thing. They don't have to have a physical presence at the store page. And if you want to know what there was like a news article and it was like the PS5 logo has been revealed.
Yeah, the PS5 got revealed.
It is exactly what you think it is. It is the PS4 logo with a 5 on it. It's not groundbreaking.
And the PS4
stuff.
logo is just like the PS3 logo, but the 4 in it.
So, Rock of Ages 3 had a closed alpha. I forgot there was a Rock of Ages 3 even coming out. Like, I hadn't played Rock of Ages 2.
Yeah.
I love Rock of Ages 1. I have no idea what Rock of Ages 2 was about. What it was
rocks,
like.
probably.
Yeah. Charging rocks into gates through towers.
Yeah.
But if Rock of Ages 1 is anything to go by, it should be good. So
what genre do you put it in, though?
The closest genre is an RTS.
Yeah, it's the closest, but it's like so abnormal. Like, what the fuck do you?
It's a bowling RTS.
It's like a puzzle game to some extent. It's like a racer. Okay, it's like a strategy game.
It's a puzzle bowling RTS.
Yeah,
that is how I would describe Rock of Ages. If you don't know what the hell we're talking about, watch our spotlight video on Rock of Ages. It's great. Crazy. It also has the great Monty Python style of humor as well. Anyway. Oh, Artifact's gone a year with 0 updates. By the way, you remember when we were talking about that ages last year, months ago, Valve were gonna we got to redesign Artifact and we're gonna bring it out again. Valve thought Artifact was a good idea, and they haven't updated it in a whole year.
Well, I'm hoping instead of updating it, they made Alex.
It has like 30 players.
Half-Life Alex instead, please.
So I'm very worried about Half-Life Alex because here's two things. They thought Artifact was a good idea.
Yep.
And they thought Half-Life Alex wouldn't be a big deal.
And didn't need a trailer. Do you think they should put on the box made by the
made by the creators of Artifact?
Yeah.
I think they got like a Magic the Gathering guy, like Wizards of the Coast guy, to come over and help with Artifact. And I think after Artifact, he like left the company. He was like, "Fuck this shit." I don't know. I think they should put it on. I hate to say this, but I think they should just put Artifact on TF2 status, where they just keep the servers going but don't touch the game at all. There's no way they're reviving.
They
Artifact.
could just shut it down.
There's no way. I don't think so.
Only 30 people would not.
Like it's gone. You'd have to basically strip out all the fucking grubby monetization.
Start again.
And either make it free to play, or make it paid, but make it so you can earn all the cards in the game without a bunch of microtransactions.
Yeah, all of the cards you already own, the other stuff. I don't know.
But that's my ideas for Artifact.
It's dead.
It's probably better than Valve's because they don't know the fuck they're doing.
It's dead. It's gone.
Faster Than Light is getting Steam achievements after 7 years of being released. So its first update.
Finally.
They're partially visible to players, but not yet achievable. I don't know I think it might be live now. But yeah, if you want to go and play Faster Than Light, there's now Steam achievements for it now after 7 years. Farming Simulator 19 is currently free on the Epic Games Store. And it has multiplayer. So if you and your friends want to pick up this game and play it together, it's something I recommend doing. GTA 4, if you don't remember, was actually removed from Steam because of Games for Windows Live. If you don't know, the way Games for Windows Live worked, I thought Artifact had a skeleton on its Reddit page. It probably
That's the reason why it bombed.
Games for Windows Live, which was shut down in 2013, by the way, we're in 2020.
Yeah.
To sell copies of games that have Games for Windows Live, you had to generate a key through Games for Windows Live, but there was only a limited amount of keys. They ran out of keys for GTA 4, so the only option to sell it was to remove it and basically rework the game. So we don't know if Rockstar's going to rework the game at all and re-release it on Steam again without Games for Windows Live. Like, I've recently had to install Games for Windows Live because of Resident Evil 5, so I assume as soon as they run out of keys for Resident Evil 5, that will get removed from the store. And I don't know if Capcom will remake it without Games for Windows Live. Hopefully they will.
In 10 years' time, they will.
Yeah. But I thought it was interesting how we have games that have Games for Windows Live in them still kind of. And it was removed 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And
fuck Windows
they're running
Live.
They can't, because of this terrible Games for Windows Live system, they actually are starting to have to remove stuff from the store, which is not cool. It's the same with like licensing issues. I was talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutants in Manhattan. Like, we lost the rights to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We've got to remove that.
And DRM server stuff, they just stopped paying them to go, no, we don't want that anymore.
And Battlefield Heroes. Fuck you, EA, for Battlefield Heroes. I want to play it.
Is that like Sonic Heroes?
No.
No? Okay.
Dying Light Bad Blood. Do you remember this game? Nope.
No.
Didn't think so. So Dying Light Bad Blood was like a PvE, PvP kind of battle royale Dying Light game that they charged money for and nobody played. But they've made it so if you own Dying Light, it's now included, which I think was probably the logical step. Because lots of people own Dying Light, so this will probably help revitalize the player base. I've installed it, I haven't played it yet. The way you claim it is a bit weird though. So if you've ever played Dying Light, you'll know to claim like in-game items, you have to go to their third-party app website, where you have to claim a docket. And when you go on there and log in with your account that you've linked with your Techland account, you can then claim a docket, which will give you a Steam key for Dying Light Bad Blood. It's kind of complicated. It's not like you own it if you own Dying Light. You kind of have to claim it.
They're not just give it to a Steam account.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's on Steam.
But that's now free. I'll probably be doing a Tangerine on that at some point, or maybe a Tangerine with another game. UnCiv, a free and open source remake of Civ 5. If you want to play another version of Civ 5, if there's any Civers in here, any Civ 5 fans.
Civers, is that the collective
it's
now?
It's more like a retro pixel art style. It's supposed to follow the same game mechanics, much like the classic free Civ, which is based on the earlier rules and features. So, yeah. Available for both Android and PC.
Will it load faster, though?
It's probably more stable than Civ 5.
I hope so.
Civ? We've got Civ question mark. It's playable through and always fun to see more open source strategy games appear. So they do have a lot of plans for the project, including user interface options, city-state quests, and adding in missing civilizations, religions, trade routes, and so on. You can find it at GitHub. So I'd recommend anyone that wants to play more Civ, check that out on GitHub. Vermintide 2 is adding a microtransaction store. Dude, Vermintide 2 is a really good game that's just been horribly mismanaged and handled. Like, I can't recommend the base game of Vermintide 2 enough.
But don't get anything else.
They need like a proper roadmap of content, and they've just completely squandered that.
Would you rather have like expansions and DLCs to this?
They have DLCs.
Oh, okay.
And the DLCs are like £20, add one map. Sort of kind of DLCs.
Okay.
Where I'm like, yeah, maybe if you're a...
this is full Call of Duty. Like,
what are the people who make Warhammer called again?
Games Workshop?
Yeah, maybe if you're Games Workshop and you're used to buying like overpriced figures in paint, you're used to getting stung, but like, I don't want to be spending 20 quid on like deals. And then they bought out the Winds of Magic one, which is kind of interesting because it added the new Minotaur hero. But then as soon as you get the DLC, every game you play has the Minotaur in it from that point on, and it was making the game like harder, and you didn't have a choice to turn them off.
Oh, okay.
And they were like forcing people to go certain builds to build around them. So
you couldn't deactivate it in Steam and then reload it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So as soon as you beat that DLC, you then permanently had Minotaurs in all your other missions. There was no way to switch between them.
There's no options for...
Yeah, it's kind of weird. But that was like the big thing. Like the next big thing we're waiting for is the versus mode, which lets you play as the rats.
Is that paid or is that going to be free?
No, it's not going to be a DLC. There's no. Well, if it is, it's fucking stupid. I think it's going to be like versus mode in Left 4 Dead, where it's part of the game. I would hope so, but I've seen everything they've done so far, and if they did it, it probably wouldn't surprise me at this point.
Right.
It seems like Epic will continue giving away free games all of 2020. They seem to give a free one away every week, so keep checking the Epic Games Store if you want to pick up a free game. I've picked up tons of free games. I've played some of them as well. So, I mean, you can hate Epic all you want, but
free game's free game.
I already own an Epic account. I've played Fortnite for years. So
yeah, you're a Zoomer.
I'm a Zoomer. But yeah. Let's go into a bit of tech news. The NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3080 and RTX 3070 leaked specs. Apparently up to 20 gigabytes of GDDR4
Yeah, 3080 Ti Titan X, yeah. If just the normal 3080. Okay, one, do we know these names are correct?
No.
So I'm still really confused. And two,
this is rumor, speculation.
Yeah,
I need to. This is unconfirmed news. This is
really dubious.
Speculation.
But if we do get that much VRAM, who's going to use it? I mean, in the future, we'll probably. Okay, it's the same thing as the same thing as the RTX cores. To be fair, no one's using them at the moment, but they will do.
The thing is, when the 2080 came out, everyone was comparing it to the 1080 Ti.
Yeah. And
they were saying, oh, it's crap. You know, the 1080 Ti is still got great performance next to it.
Yeah.
But then as more games came out, the 2080 started like destroying it because of the extra technology they put into it. Because like you look at the frame rates for like Resident Evil 2 now, and like the 2080 destroys the 1080 Ti.
Also,
because we don't know what we're going to do with this technology now.
No.
As we get games in the future, this is going to be
you have to
way
make,
better performance.
You have to make stuff kind of for the future. Like, oh, we've added this new RTX technology. So then you can then use it.
We're definitely going to get more CUDA cores, I think.
Yeah.
That's like one of the big things.
You always get more CUDA cores to some extent, and you normally get. I'm not gonna say better quality. Yeah, more VRAM is like a big push, but we currently don't need it. But hopefully in the future we might be able to use higher textures.
We're getting to a weird point where a computer you put in a lab to build a supercomputer and a gaming computer are similar things.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah, but I definitely think like RTX as a technology that I think is on the which is on the the first stages with the current RTX cards, and then if they could
be more mature for
make it
later.
more beefy, so you can have like RTX with like higher frame rates and higher resolution with RTX and with a way more beefy card. You probably need this kind of hardware behind it.
But it's not like the RTX card that came out, like they didn't diminish what they could do compared to the 10 series though.
Right, but like you were making trade-offs with RTX, like maybe you didn't.
If you turned it on, yeah. But that's just the nature of the beast, though.
Right, but then if they design these new cards with RTX in mind, then you won't have to make as many trade-offs, which is the thinking.
Absolutely.
And of course, you have the AMD cards, and the AMD cards don't have any of this.
But that's the same thing for everything. That's like, wouldn't it be great if you'd run Crysis from 8K to 60 frames per second?
It's like early adopting VR. Yeah, early adopting VR. Like I have the dev kit too, and at the time it was amazing, but now it's like low frame rates makes me feel sick. I plug it in, I have to install some like third-party software to get it running with the current Oculus store. And, it's the early adopter fee for like RTX right now. But I think
the
cards that are coming, we're going to make it way easier to run real-time ray tracing.
We've also already had this set up for people to actually produce the technology, the actual software side.
We're getting way more RTX games. What I'm saying is, I want to be able to run 1440p 144 ray tracing, and I don't think you can do that with a 2080 Ti consistently on higher settings.
What frame rate do you want? You want
144.
144. Okay. Yeah.
144 ray tracing.
Yeah, that's the same. I'm saying this. It's the same difference as like back in the day trying to run. I can't think of good other than Crysis, but like just trying to run that at a higher frame rate. Like, you could not run Crysis with the cards back in the day more than 60.
You said you thought ray tracing was the future of graphics cards.
Yeah.
But you haven't used ray tracing once.
No, that's not why, though.
Okay.
The reason why is, have you seen Battlefield 5 with ray tracing?
I've seen a lot of games with ray tracing on.
Yeah.
It looks amazing.
Yeah. It's not going to stop at this point. There are going to be people like, why do we need ray tracing? But
just download Quake RTX and we'll do a tangerine on it.
We've taken the hat out of Pandora's box. We can't put it back in. The rabbit is out of the hat, as they say.
Basically, I was going to go like an RTX 2080 with some money I was saving up. But
might as well wait.
The thing is, I didn't think they would release a card for another 2 years.
No, I didn't expect them.
Wait, Pringles Rick and Morty Pickle Rick flavor will be ready soon? Hang on. Hang on a second. Pickle Rick flavored Pringles? Breaking news.
Pickle Rick.
Breaking news. Pickle Rick flavored. This was 10 hours ago. According to a Super Bowl ad.
What?
Wow. I can't wait to
get
my
on
Pickle
Amazon?
Rick Pringles.
Can we order it from Amazon?
Yeah, this is all a rumor though. This is based on leaked specs. Which turns out, like, every time I see leaked specs, like the 1660 and the 2060 were, like, leaked. The 1660 Ti was leaked, and it was pretty accurate.
Yeah, but this is kind of... I don't know, this is kind of a different leak, in my opinion. But I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. Apparently... Well, I think... The speculation is that they're going to announce something around summertime in Nvidia.
For sure.
Because they've been getting so much pressure from AMD recently. Because of Ryzen, because of the new Radeon cards.
Yeah. Admittedly, AMD's graphics is still price performance better than theirs, but yeah.
Because like as soon as the new budget card for AMD came out, I'm not quite sure what it was called.
I don't know the AMD name.
They immediately dropped because it was the direct competitor of the 1660 Ti for the budget card, right? But then they immediately dropped the price of the 2060 by 30. So
they then boosted.
This competition's a really good thing for everyone looking at graphics.
But it was meant to be a card that only competed against the 1660. They then boosted it in the BIOS to then compete with the 2060. So okay.
I logically think they're going to be called the RTX 3080, the RTX 3070, but you didn't think they were going to be called that.
Because for the longest time we've gone like 780. 880, 980, 1080.
Yes, but
then we made 1,000
we
jump.
then went the 1,000 jump, and I think they're going to do the 1,000 jump again. Logically.
We're just going to keep going with the thousands, then the 10,000s.
No, when you get to the 10,000, you make the X like the iPhone.
Oh,
you skip the 9,000 and you go straight to the X.
NVIDIA doesn't skip 9.
The RTX Titan X XXX.
No, I like number 9, so I'm kind of annoyed that a lot of people skip 9s.
I don't know. What's the number in China that's bad luck?
Bad luck, I don't know. 8's a good number though.
Is it 9?
Is it 9? 8's a really good number though. 4.
The number 4, okay. Because you go into like an elevator and there's no 4th floor.
It sounds like the word death.
Yes.
What?
But they specifically
oh my god.
Many buildings in China skip the 4th floor.
And 13.
The US builders sometimes omit floor 13. 9 just as a number, as the number 4, has a bad luck sound alike in Chinese. 9 is feared in Japan, and because it's similar to the Japanese word for torturing or suffering.
Why are so many people superstitious about a floor number though?
I don't know, but they're superstitious enough to omit them from
so dumb
to skip that floor. We're on the 2nd floor, the 3rd floor, the 5th floor.
Legitimately, I really like the number 13 and the number 9.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't tell you why, but they're really good numbers. Also, 4 is a good number as well, but that's not as good
divisible
as 9.
by 2.
Not as good as 8.
Even number.
Yeah. Maybe that's it.
No. Anyway, move on. You were asking me, we were talking about processors, CPUs the other day, and you said, what's the difference between a desktop CPU and a laptop CPU?
Not much.
They're really fucking thin. That's why. We got the AMD Ryzen 7 4800U, the world's first 7nm mobile CPU with 8 cores, 16 threads at 15 watts.
Basically low-powered, really thin processors.
People were saying, like, the Surface, they think maybe tablets, like the Surface tablet sort of thing, this is going to be like a powerhouse for those sort of things. Or Chromebooks, or like, laptop tablet sort of things, or laptops in general. This is going to be like your Ryzen laptop.
The more efficient and more temperature. Yeah, because I didn't realize this, but the smaller nanometers you can have, the cooler it runs with the same performance as the older generations. So I guess less nanometers, please.
But this was the announced at CES.
Yep.
So we'll talk about one of the big news: Warcraft 3 Reforged. There's been tons of complaints about Warcraft 3 Reforged. I've personally played Warcraft 3 Reforged, and I understand the outrage, but I'm on the side of I don't think it deserves all the hate it's getting.
Okay. What about the not owning the rights to the maps you make though?
Yep, so they added
That's the biggest one.
So they've added a TOS which requires the handover of moral rights to any custom maps, and if your country doesn't allow that, you must sign over your moral rights to Blizzard. Which people look to this and go, oh, Warcraft 3 is breaking the mold by doing this. Warcraft 3, they've had this since Overwatch.
Yeah.
Since like 2016 or something like that. So this is already the reality of Blizzard games. It's not just this game.
Okay, but people didn't realise it until they finally read it.
So with Warcraft 3 Reforged, basically all I wanted was a HD version of Warcraft 3.
Yeah.
But that was on the Battle.net launcher. And that's what I got.
That's fine, but considering what they promised, so there's so many things omitted that people wanted.
Right. So
some of the big
things they promised were reworked cutscenes, which we did over 4 hours of reworked cutscenes, which we did not get. They added the original cutscenes. You can see Thrall's weird 2000 CGI face, and it's like, oh, okay. They showed off a culling campaign trailer, and they had the demo at BlizzCon, and they changed it, and they didn't do everything that was in the trailer.
Yeah.
Initially, they were going to basically rework the campaign, the story made sense for the continuity of World of Warcraft, because basically what happened recently with World of Warcraft was around Legion BFA. They were like, shit, a lot of the lore doesn't make sense. They made like the compendium that kind of tied all the old gods, the Shadow Lords, all of the WoW lore together. There was like a book that came out that tied it all together. So they were going to rework it, and people didn't like that. They wanted to play the original campaign. So then they were like, okay, we can make an additional campaign that has this WoW continuity lore where we explore what happens with more characters like Sylvanas, who didn't get her full exploration. Like, literally, I was playing the human campaign, and at the end of the human campaign, spoiler alert for Warcraft 3 from 10 plus years ago.
Spoiler
alert. You may already know this, but Arthas turns into the Lich King. Basically, what happened, the cutscene for him becoming the Lich King is he walks off into the blizzard, and some text that comes up and says, Arthas went mental and became the Lich King. And then the next cutscene is him going to Lordaeron and killing his father. And it's like, how did we get here? I feel like they definitely needed to put a cutscene in here of him going mad by Frostmourne to turn into the Lich King. Yeah. It reminds me of The Simpsons, where they have Itchy and Scratchy, and they have the dog character, and they were like, they want to kill him from the show, so they just have him a scene where he gets sucked up by a UFO, and then it just says he went back to his people. He was an alien the whole time. Anyway. But I'll be going into way more in depth into Warcraft Reforged with a Tangerine. But I've played the Orc prologue, the human campaign, and half the undead campaign.
For what you wanted, you got exactly what you wanted out of it.
I haven't had any bugs. I've even played custom games, which people were complaining were broken. Right. I had one issue where a custom game bugged out, but apart from that, I played like 3 or 4 different custom games without an issue. People were complaining about the UI. The UI fucking sucks. I agree with that. And it's running on a Chrome web page. Okay. When you go into the menu, you're going through a Chrome web page. Right. This was outsourced, some of it to a Malaysian studio, but I don't think we can say, oh, fuck Blizzard for outsourcing to this studio, because this is the same studio that made StarCraft Brood War Remastered and did a really good job with it.
Yeah. I think it's just a lack of, I think things got cut and budgets got cut, basically.
But basically, they did promise more stuff. They didn't deliver on the promises. Another bad thing they did was they basically forced you to play on this different version on the original Warcraft 3. Yeah. If you download the original Warcraft 3 now, you have to play through the Reforged client. You now have to download a 30 gigabyte patch, and you're forced to play through the Reforged version.
And if you want to refund this, I don't know how that is.
They've set it up now, so they're offering like instant refunds. They have like an automated system now, so they're
originally they did not do that though, and they banned people for saying you could get a refund by doing this method.
Apparently, Reforged devs were literally fixing bugs directly from Reddit comments. That's one way to crowd. Basically, I read that someone on Reddit said like, "Oh, why don't they just use their Q&A team?" And it's like, well, they fired all the developers and Q&A teams. You remember those massive layoffs where they just fired all of their staff? It's like, yeah, that makes sense. Fire all of their staff, outsource to another studio, and it just starts to add up why they somehow made the game from 2004 slightly worse.
With better graphics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why can't just... Yeah.
Okay. There's a massive hate train going on at the moment. It's currently the lowest user score on Metacritic. But who the fuck cares about Metacritic?
Yeah,
anyway?
Who cares?
Because it's getting review bombed, which is another interesting topic, review bombed, whether it should be allowed or not. Because I don't think the actual game is actually that bad as the people are saying it. Because it's like at 0.3%, and they've been review bombing Gary's first incident video. If you remember the first video that got Turtle Biscuit copyright strike, they've been review bombing that game specifically just so Warcraft Reforged is below it, which doesn't reflect on the actual.
Yeah, that's fine, but it's hard to tell the difference between. Okay, overpromised and underdelivered is different.
I've talked about in the past how I love Blizzard and Blizzard games, right?
Yeah.
But I've also been hugely critical of them. Like you can watch any episode, I'm hugely critical on them. Yeah. I'm all critical on what they're doing now, but it does not deserve this amount of hate. I feel like this is an echo chamber. This is too many people going, You know, everyone hates this. And it's very vocal. But I think the majority of people are playing and enjoying.
But how can you? If they agree with it though, it might be an echo chamber, but they are still agreeing with it though. And honestly, you shouldn't be using Metacritic to know how good the game is anyway. I think it is just like a system to like, oh, we have no other way to explain how bad it is or how bad we feel over the game.
Some lighter news. They are doing an ESL Pro Tour for Warcraft 3. So they will be doing the Reforged. They are going to get back into esports. If you don't know what Warcraft esports is Warcraft esports were really promising until they had like a match fixing scandal that kind of killed the esports scene. It's kind of interesting. Watch some videos about it. But Warcraft 3 esports is actually really interesting. But ESL is doing a Warcraft 3 Reforged Pro League, and they're also doing the same treatment for StarCraft 2 as well. So that's
coming back.
Smash Bros is adding a new anime guy with blue hair, and also a cup. The Mii costume is going to be Cuphead. I find the Mii costumes more interesting than the actual character releases.
Yeah.
They're adding another sword guy with blue hair from that Fire Emblem game. I think, is it Fire Emblem? I don't know.
I don't fucking know. I never knew these characters existed.
More anime news. More Nintendo news. I mean, Pokemon Sword and Shield's getting its first expansion pass. So, with the expansion pass, 200 old Pokemon will be added that can be transferred from older games or encountered in the new expansions. A free update will add them to the core game, so you don't need to buy the expansion pass to get that. A $30 expansion pass that adds 2 DLC was announced, the first in June, the second in November fall. That means there won't be an Ultra version of this game. Both DLCs add new legendary Pokemon, new characters, new areas, and a new story, and each has its own theme, growth, and exploration. Both DLCs will add a new wild area to the game, and all of the new expansions areas will have free camera, so no fixed camera. DLC 2 will add a new co-op mode to catch legendaries from older games. And new legendaries. The new legendaries are not the same as the main legendaries of the expansion. No, their forms have been shown. More information on that will come later.
Thank God that they're finally doing DLC instead of like buy an Ultra version. Like that is bullshit.
I think people liked Ultra versions.
I know, but they're crazy.
But I think they've been experimenting with these they're like DLC passes with the Fighter Pass in Smash Bros. And they've had quite positive reception from that. People seem to like it, and I think so. I'm kind of tying this into like Warcraft 3, but loads of people probably. The thing of Pokemon Shield and Sword, loads of people complaining about it before it even came out.
Yeah,
loads of people complaining when it came out, and then tons of people played it. So
it's just, I think it's more of the same but 3D. But I think you can't really complain too much about Pokemon. I think it's pretty good personally, but
because like going back to Warcraft 3, I've had my friends say, "Oh, I've heard all this negative press about Warcraft Reforged. I don't know if I'm going to get it." I'm like, I'm playing it and having fun.
Yeah, you need to look into it for you personally.
There's like tons of people who've said, "I'm going to refund it and then buy it back when it gets a patch." Like, I think they should like put out a patch, obviously, but anyway. Should I read off every game that's been delayed?
Yeah, this is
okay.
Delay. Hang on. Delay session. 5.
Just write down delays.
Yeah.
Okay. Cyberpunk 2077 is delayed to September 17th.
Yeah.
A bunch of games are coming out in March. No longer. Most of them are not.
Most of them are not. No.
Avengers got delayed to September 2020.
Who cares?
Final Fantasy VII was delayed to April 2020. Watch Dogs Legion delayed to 2021. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Quarantine to 2021. I believe Quarantine is the single player or the co-op zombie mode. Gods and Monsters delayed 2021. Skulls and Bones, the pirate game, 2021. Doom Eternal was delayed to March 2020. The Last of Us 2 delayed to May 2020. Vampires and the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 to sometime later in 2020. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remaster to summer 2020. Animal Crossing New Horizons delayed to March 2020. Kerbal Space Program 2 delayed to 2021. Ori and the Will of the Wisps was delayed to March 2020. And Dying Light 2 was delayed from spring 2020 to a release window later in the year. Probably. They didn't give a hot... They just said, we're moving it from spring 2020 to another release window. We don't have a time for you yet. There's 15 delays.
It's the year of delays.
Yep.
To be fair,
I'll tell you what's not got delayed. Half-Life 3. / Left 4 Dead 3. Because Left 4 Dead 3 is not in development. I can't believe that the president of HTC China had a slideshow that said, hey, you should buy a Vive because Left 4 Dead 3 is coming out based on a source of Valve's new network saying that they were making Left 4 Dead 3 at one point internally. Like, Valve News Network now on all of these videos puts, this is pure speculation. Please do not quote me on your Chinese HTC president presentations. This is pure speculation. Like, that's crazy. The Valve have had to confirm that they are not making a Left 4 Dead 3.
Yeah, because working on it internally is different from making a game. Sure.
Sources: Horizon Zero Dawn coming to PC. This is from Jason Schreier. He's an incredibly reputable source, so I would 100% believe this. He's reported on like stuff already. He reported on The Last of Us 2 getting delayed before it happened, for example. Like, this guy has lots of inside sources, so I would highly say that this is a very reputable source, but it is a source, so it's not confirmed. But it seems like Sony's going with the Microsoft strat and moving a lot of their exclusives to PC, which is cool. I like to see that.
Spider-Man?
Hopefully. Harry Potter Minecraft. So if you haven't seen this, this is Minecraft School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, and it looks fucking amazing. This mod's been in development for 7 years, and they've built Harry Potter and Minecraft, and it's not out yet, but it's coming out soon, and it looks fucking amazing. Like, I showed you the trailer of this.
Yeah.
I said we've got to play this because you see it at first, you're like, oh, it's like Harry Potter. So oh, cool, they made the map, but then you see like the gameplay, and then you're like, holy shit, they made like an actual Harry Potter game in Minecraft. This looks awesome. Let's skip. But then there's actual like gameplay. It looks fucking amazing. Like, already I'm getting flashbacks to one of my favorite games of all time, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. It reminds me of that, like, casting spells around it.
Favorite game?
One of my favorite. I love Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. That game's great.
Best game ever made.
That game is amazing. It's like a 3D platformer on the PC and PS2.
Yeah, I think like the map alone is like fantastic just to explore. And then it's like, oh no, we had mechanics to Minecraft. Good luck with that. So I assume they're using a combination of like resource pack and the map. Map commands and things.
Well, this is going to be in Java, I believe.
Yeah, I think you would have to.
Like, I don't think you could do this in C++.
I don't think you can model stuff in the same way that you can for Java.
The video below simply say, coming soon. Like, we don't have an announced date on this, but it looks like you can go to towns, you can buy potions. Like, it's going to be a full RPG with NPCs, quests, missions.
What's the minimum specs for your computer to play this?
I don't know. They have a Patreon which you can go to if you want to. But I was like, we got to load this up on a server and play this. This looks amazing.
Oh.
Yep.
I still don't know what's going on with my Minecraft. I guess that's news.
What's news?
I don't have access to my Minecraft account for either a bug or
You've been hacked.
Russian hackers. I don't know. That's news though.
Slay the Spire version 2.0, we got the Watcher. So we actually got the 4th character to Slay the Spire. I've been playing this. There'll probably be a Tangerine on this. But yeah, really fucking cool character. Reminds me of like a monk character where you're switching stances and dealing like lots of interesting ways to deal damage. You switch between like calm and rage stances. I'll talk about that a bit more on Tangerine. But yeah, amazing. Slay the Spire, one of the best games I've ever played. Always adding tons of content. Best way to do early access. Slay the Spire, amazing roguelike deck building game. There's a Vice City remastered mod that lets you play Vice City in GTA 5, and it's available for download right now. So if you want to play Vice City again, you can play it through GTA 5, which looks awesome. Speaking of that, Take-Two is filing a copyright suit to kill Red Dead Redemption Damned Enhanced Project. I say that because the Vice City one will probably get a DMCA from Take-Two.
Kind of sucks.
The first installment of Red Dead Redemption was never officially launched on PC by a developer known as DamnDev. Helped to change that when he re-released it on PC through an enhanced project. However, after repeatedly ignoring Take-Two's warnings to cease and desist, he must now deal with a copyright infringement lawsuit.
Wish him luck.
Good luck.
Good luck. Wild West.
So there's a Half-Life 1 VR mod. If you want to play Half-Life Alyx, but you can't yet, there's now a early beta with unfinished features that lets you play through the original Half-Life 1 in VR. So if you want to test out a buggy beta version of that, try it out.
Is there going to be rubber banding in it? Because I want to play rubber banding in VR.
Stalker 2, I guess I didn't know that if this was announced in it, but they've announced that they're going to be using Unreal Engine to make Stalker 2, and they're looking for a publisher. And I'm guessing if they're using Unreal Engine, it's probably going to be an Epic Games Store publisher, and it's probably going to be an Epic Games Store exclusive.
Unless the twist is that Valve will swoop in.
Vince Zampella is set to be the new head of DICE LA, which will rebrand and launch a new game in the future. So if you don't know, Vince Zampella is the head of Respawn, who's been doing amazing work on TF2, Titanfall 2, Apex Legends, and of course the new Star Wars The Fallen Order game. Lots of great critically acclaimed games. So it'll be really interesting to see someone who's come from a Titanfall 2 Apex kind of background, really looking at DICE and maybe Battlefield sort of thing. That'll be really interesting to see, like DICE and Respawn working together to make a FPS game potentially
with story.
Yeah, maybe. Do you remember that Lord of the Rings card game that I showed like a trailer of at E3?
Vaguely, yes.
Nobody does. But it's shutting down. Fantasy Flight Interactive is shutting down. Lord of the Rings adventure card game studio announced the imminent closure of the board game company Gaming Adaptation Studio. So apparently the game was kind of dead shortly after beta with dozens of unfilled promises. It had DLC while it was still in beta, and then the core gameplay was strange and differed from the actual card game, but it was kind of fun. So it seems like they had a problem with marketing, they had a problem with, not fulfilling promises, and then they had a problem with trying to sell DLC where the game wasn't finished, sort of thing.
So I guess they're running out of money when we need to get some DLC. Well,
but it's shut down now,
rip.
So you can't play the Lord of the Rings card game anymore. A major union launches a campaign to organize video game and tech workers to come together to make a video game union. This is always great news. There's a Halo Master Chief update and roadmap. Some of the cool things they said they were going to work on. They were moving the Magnum secondary from Halo Reach head-to-head combat. They wanted to make it so the DMR was on less of the playlists. That's one of the big changes they were using because the DMR was so strong. What was I reading? They showed like Forge progress. They showed like a screenshot of Forge in Reach, which is the first game it's coming to. They're having a bunch of events. Basically, they give an update on all the... This is kind of like the update and a roadmap for what they're going to work on. They want to have uncapped frame rate. So their prototype of the frame rate limiter has shown some good initial reports of stuttering going away once a cap is set to what your monitor supports. They want to help with stuttering, which is one of the big issues with Reach at the moment.
So it wasn't one of those games that like the frame rate was tied to clock speed?
Yes.
It was?
That was like one of the big issues, I think.
Right.
Which is what they're trying to fix, which was causing like stuttering and stuff.
I'm glad they're actually trying to fix it and not just like, that's just a thing.
They wanted to fix co-op latency because there was like host advantage sort of things. Crouching while movement is something I noticed, and I was like, oh, you can't crouch your move. That's really strange. So yeah, that is something they're going to work on. Achievement issues and support tickets. I've personally had issues with like achievements not properly syncing up, which is kind of annoying. Aim assist is continuing to remain high on our list, and we're actually talking through solutions. There's a big problem with aim assist on PC. Controller players have a big advantage on PC because of aim assist.
Oh, right, okay. Aggressive aim assist.
Mm-hmm. So actively in development is progression systems, improvements, server ping list, push to talk, text improvement, bug fixes. In design iteration, they want double keybinds, additional mod support, zoom improvements, additional video settings, which is like a big feature I would love. Current backlog, input-based matchmaking, which would be pretty good for cross-platform play.
Yeah.
So you could have, if someone wanted to play on PC with a controller, you could match them against other controller players, that sort of stuff. Or you could have just controller players versus control players, and then keyboard and mouse players.
Could you set like a free for all, like you didn't care?
And then of course cross play, as I said, between Xbox and PC, which seems like a no-brainer, but it's not there yet. Regional server selection, idle system improvements, custom input, better way to report players, bring PC features to consoles like the FOV slider, additional accessibility support, and custom game browser. So this is kind of all the stuff they're working on, and then they're going to show the road ahead from Master Chief Collection to PC. So they're looking to reach Forge and Theatre support on PC. They're showing off some shots for Halo Combat Evolved, which is the first Halo game.
Yeah.
Getting away on PC, and they're showing what they've been doing. It's an alpha. They got mod support, terminal videos, which are going to be in the upcoming flight. They're showing off Halo 2, Halo Anniversary, Halo 3 as well. We've got a screenshot of that. But yeah. They're working on tons of stuff on the Master Chief Collection. Excited to play more Master Chief claims. Next is Star Wars Battlefront 2 is getting an update. The BB update, do you remember that little robot thing from Star Wars? It's now a hero you can play as.
Yes,
there's BB-8,
who
I think is more of a defensive character. He turns into a ball, and I think he moves around very quickly. He can traverse the battlefield at great speeds, quick dodge, jump. He has a similar to the Force user and sprinting speed. Will have 3 passive abilities, means they'll always be preset and won't require input or to activate. Technical support. So when he captures posts, he captures the 2 people, similar to like the scout from TF2. Increase the cooldown speed of nearby friendly characters. So he's more of this like quick support to help users get in and then cap posts and stuff. And I think there's another one which is BB-8's star cards, which changes abilities as well. Self-repair, you can maximum health is like, it's just directly making an ability better. This is what I was looking for. So there's a new hero BB-9E, which is like BB-8, but basically it's like BB-8 but with a different set of abilities.
Okay.
So BB-9 is faster than most, converts the battlefield at great speeds.
Who wants to be a BB-8 though?
Look, I'll be a fucking BB-8.
You want to be a BB-8?
Yeah, you can be droidicas as well.
I'd love to be a droidica. I don't want to be a BB-8.
Yeah, the BB-9 is slightly different. They also talk about Age of Resistance comes to supremacy and instant action. Age of Resistance is the co-op mode, so they're adding it to more game types. They want to add era select, so you can be like, I want to play Clone Wars maps. I want to play new maps.
Yeah.
I want to play,
yeah.
The other maps.
The new trilogy maps.
Yeah.
That's ones I want.
They've got quality of life change, some bug fixes, and then auto player improvements. I don't know if auto players are like bots. Battlefront 2 auto players. Are they like aim assist? Is it auto players?
No idea.
There are even some updates as it starts with a new auto player reinforcement. Within the next update, auto players will be able to play as droidicas on all planets and across all game modes that support them. It wasn't the best idea to get up close and personal to an auto player, and you'll want to be even more careful in the features. The auto player troopers and reinforcements will now be able to perform melee attacks. I think auto players in Battlefront 2, I don't know because I stopped playing when they added the like co-op mode and stuff. Before that, I think auto players are like bots.
Okay.
From what I understand, but I'm not quite sure. Okay. we'll do one final piece in it. We had the Half-Life Alyx AMA, so we'll talk about some of the stuff we learned. Will there be a train ride in Half-Life Alyx? If it's illegal to ship a Half-Life game without a train ride.
True.
Some people are asking whether they'll get the full Source 2 SDK or getting a more limited authorizing type deal, which allows us to make more content for Alex's Workshop. People were speculating that the Source SDK 2 would be fully coming out with Half-Life Alyx. Basically, they said they're not planning on doing that currently. And that's generally, how they've done SDKs in our previous Source 1 titles. The Half-Life Alyx website states that Hammer will be updated with VR tools and components. What other features, if any, will be added to improve Hammer? Hammer is Source 2 and has been overhauled from the ground up. Everything from how geometry is built and textures to how assist creation is done has improved and increased speed and ease. One big feature for Half-Life Alyx was the addition of a similar to layers with individual map files for multiple level designers, environment artists, and sound designers to combine into a single map. That's really cool. You seem confident releasing the game on time. How much would you say if the game is done? I'm worried about Valve time kicking in. So, with the exception of some tweaks to the absolute final scene, the game is done. So, I was speculating they were going to delay it. Every fucking thing is getting delayed.
But not Alyx.
But according to the Half-Life Alyx dev team, Half-Life Alyx is not getting delayed.
It's done. Feature complete.
They did answer a question about the recasting of Meryl, the original voice actor for Alyx, and they said they felt they wanted to go in a different direction, and basically
we don't know. We don't understand.
Yeah, they didn't go too.
It's not a real reason whatsoever.
They said they would love to work with Meryl in the future again because she also voices. I think it's Legion Commander in Dota 2 as well.
Right.
But then I think in Artifact, they got a different voice actor for Legion Commander as well. So Half-Life Alyx will have subtitles for 10 languages at launch, and then maybe will be dubbed later on. This voiceover in different languages is still something they're considering. Apparently there's about 80 people working on Half-Life Alyx, which puts us the largest single team we've had at Valve. Was Half-Life Alyx the main reason you decided to put communications with the community more? We've always enjoyed speaking with the community. Our games like Dota 2 and Counter-Strike have a long history of ongoing communication with players. For Half-Life Alyx, our first single-player campaign in several years, we wanted to speak to the community in a different way than we do with our service games. This prompted most of the recent work we've done on our social media and other venues, like the new Half-Life Alyx site. So this is really cool. What they usually do with stuff like Counter-Strike, Underlords, they have a Twitter account and then developer tweets, and they'll talk about the ongoing development of the game. But with this, we had the Valve software Twitter account open, we had the announcement, and we had the trailer of the game and we had this AMA and Reddit, and it looks like Valve is trying to be more open and transparent about what they're working on now with this, which I really like the direction going forwards. Someone else asked about delay. They said probably not going to get delayed again. Did Kelly Bailey return to do the music? Music on Half-Life Alyx is mainly done by Mike Moraski, Portal 2 TF2, and I know he's talked with Kelly a lot. Do you feel Half-Life Alyx has changed tonally from the original Half-Life games, more lighthearted, more humorous? Additionally, does a speaking player character fundamentally change the way the game is written and designed in any significant ways? So, the original Half-Life games, Gordon Freeman was a silent protagonist. And I think what they said about this was they never really thought about it. Having the viewpoint character speaking is mostly liberating. It certainly makes writing sense. You don't have to write about the fact that the main character is mute. It's also easier to have the player feel like they're an active participant in the scene. In Portal, we got around it a little by acknowledging the fact that the main character is mute. I think it's a lot more tricky when you have to maintain a fragile fiction that the player character can talk, but simply isn't for some reason. And I'm still not happy that the main character... I was and still am happy that the main character speaks. So this confirms Shell was physically mute and not refusing to speak out of principle. Yes, in our head, she could talk and just chose not to.
Well, that's the law books, then.
We acknowledge that she wasn't speaking in any way Mark never did in Half-Life. None of the characters expected Shell to talk. Because they also asked about... He talked about Wolfpaw when the original Right, it talks about Mark Laidlaw, because I remember we talked about Epistle 3, when Mark Laidlaw left the company, and he was one of the head writers of like the Half-Life games.
Oh, right.
And apparently they've been talking to him on the phone a lot, and he's been helping out a lot. I spent a part of every day for 13 years talking to Laidlaw about writing. He even named a character in Half-Life Episode 2 after one of his favourite writers. So basically they said, well, yeah, we're talking to Laidlaw. Hopefully, we can keep the same sort of tone and universe of the original game. What percentage are you announced locomotion and comfort features at? How will your team be implementing a seed mode if the game has not been designed for such a mode? Where is smooth locomotion at, and what is left of it? Our locomotion and comfort features are all done, including seated left-handed mode. We have almost all our accessibility work done, but there's a little bit more we'd like to do. Support for one-armed play, for example. So it seems like they have smooth locomotion in the game now, which they didn't have at the time of the Game Awards.
Yeah, that was... Do we know that's why they delayed it, or was that just kind of a rumour of why they delayed it?
Oh, we got another bot in the chat. Dude, we always get these weird view bot advertisements while we're streaming. Interesting. Anyway.
Like how it's you want to become famous? Well, the only way to buy fame. Yeah, that's how most people do it. That's true.
I'm gonna set the mod user button on the bot. Just mod this bot. Hey, psst, kid, want to buy some view bots? So there's tons of questions. I don't know if I can go into all of them. They talked about barnacles in VR. Barnacles is something I never thought of about in VR, but until some point I was like, shit, how would barnacles work? Because then you get ripped up in the sky and you'd be pulling up, and like that would make me feel horribly motion sick.
I would personally love that, but I'd also feel sick.
You deal with them in familiar ways, but they didn't want to give any spoilers. You deal with them in familiar ways, but the opportunities afforded by VR give you new methods to use against them. We experimented with moving the player, but moving the player without their input in VR didn't work very well. No. Combine soldiers definitely return. We're keen to see them in VR. Some creatures respond to audio more than others. He doesn't want to spoil anything. I think he's talking about a specific sort of zombie creature. Also, with audio, limb dismemberment is not a factor in most combat encounters, but there is a very notable exception. Basically they said, I don't want to give anything away, but maybe it comes into it.
Maybe there's a horse that jumps up and down.
And then they asked about smooth locomotion, specifically jumping. Because the game includes the ability to mantle and continuous motion, you don't need often to jump. For example, if you need to get past an obstacle like a crate, you mantle up rather than jump. So there's not a lot of jumping in the smooth locomotion. Someone asked about horror, specifically kind of like the Ravenholm sections. Basically what they said, I remember reading this, most people got through it fine. Apart from me, as the one person who hates horror things, the dev that was asking this, he said, at one point I just had to take the headset off and look at the monitor and try and get through it because I was too terrified. So there are some scary parts, but it's not like overtly terrifying. It's going to be a dark horror game, basically. But yeah, there's tons of interesting stuff in this. If you want to go more in depth, there's tons more questions. I just read a bunch of interesting ones, but yeah, if you want to go more into it, go more into it. So I think we're going to end the podcast as tradition with the Peter Molydeux tweet. Peter Molydeux says, "You can't delay a game if you haven't announced a date." Checkmate, Peter. So, if you don't know, for Peter's game, he hasn't announced a date and when he's going to release the skateboard on a gun game. Right? So we don't know.
I actually really want to know when that game's coming out.
We don't know.
We don't know.
You can't delay a game you haven't announced the time for. So, yeah. That's the end of the podcast. Let's do the outro. Check us out and everything in between podcast on YouTube, twitch.tv/Scorn. If you want to keep up to date with when stuff's going live, or you want to see me shitpost about stuff, Scorn2000 on Twitter. And goodbye.
Bye.